If you are on your way to retirement and currently undecided if Thailand is suitable for you, you want to get a better understanding from others who already retired in the country, I think the info in this video will give you some fantastic insight into what to expect. Expats with years of experience, some over a decade or more retired in the country, giving their opinion on their current state of retirement living in the country. Was their retirement plan in the country a big mistake or a dream come true, or a little bit of both? What are some of the most challenging things they face? The first half of this video will mainly focus on the good aspects of retiring in Thailand. In the second half, we will include some of the downfalls you might face and how to overcome them. I'll let you know when the second part starts. The subject is, will Thailand continue to be a favorable destination for retirees? It is not the same thing as snowbirding from your home country. Let us see what other retirees are saying about retiring in Thailand. Starting with the most appealing aspects of Thai retirement, give this video a thumbs up if you are looking forward to moving or retiring in Southeast Asia. Fulfilling personal relationships. Some retirees discover that their relationships in Thailand offer a different level of fulfillment compared to what they had back home. This tends to be especially true for those who form partnerships or marriages with locals. Many expats, including myself, find relationships in Thailand to be uniquely fulfilling. The warmth and kindness that are hallmarks of Thai culture often contribute to stronger and more meaningful partnerships. For example, a fellow expat talked about how his marriage in Thailand feels more rewarding than his previous relationships back in the West. This feeling is said by many who find a deep connection with the local culture and its people. Looking back on my own experiences, I've encountered unexpected joys and learned some profound lessons about love right here in Thailand. Did you know I've fallen in love 3 times in my life? The first was when I was just a kid growing up in a small town in Canada, and the relationship faded as we moved apart after school. The second love brought tough lessons filled with pain and betrayal. It made me cautious, defensive, and at times even crazy. But the third love, the one I'm experiencing now in Thailand, was totally unexpected. It caught me off guard, and suddenly I found myself deeply caring for someone who wasn't my usual type. Yet I've come to see the beauty in her imperfections. But overall, I spent most of my life being single, with my longest relationship barely lasting a year. By the time I turned 40, unmarried and with no kids, even my mom was starting to worry. I came to the conclusion that my lifelong partner probably died at birth, and I would laugh at myself at the thought of adopting a cat as my lifelong partner. However, my move to Thailand changed everything. In the past year, I found myself in a relationship unlike any in the past. She has brought a new freshness to my life, filled with understanding, laughter, and a depth of connection I hadn't found before. While the future is always unknown, the present is fulfilling. Her company has changed my days and changed my perspective, reminding me that the best surprises not only come when we least expect them, but also reward those who patiently wait. Cost of living. One of the most appealing things for retirees with life in Thailand is the cost of living. It's not just about the occasional binge spending or being a 2-week millionaire. Everyday expenses here can be so much lower than in Western countries. From dining out to basic groceries, the savings can be huge. One of my Aussie expat friends told me that he had no hesitation in saying he loves it here and would not move back to Australia to live. He doesn't find it expensive to live here. It's cheap to go out for dinner, plus other everyday costs are quite good. As for me, I used to own a 2-story house with 2 cars in Canada. That would cost me 3 times what I am spending now. Although now in Thailand, I live in a small studio condo and nothing like the 5-bedroom detached home back in Canada. It was a nice life in Canada, but I hardly dined out, and if I did, it was for a Subway or a cheap Chinese takeout. Back in Canada, I would cook all the time to save money. In Thailand, I can eat out every day for 100 to 200 baht per meal, and once in a while, I spend more to treat myself and my girlfriend to a nice romantic dinner, which costs about 1,000 baht or $35 USD for the two of us, and we really have a nice meal together. If I were still back in Canada, a really nice romantic meal, similar to what we experience here, would easily cost double, and good luck to me finding a date. Real estate opportunities. Thailand has attractive real estate investment opportunities for expats. You can buy property here, at least condo, at a much lower cost than in countries like Australia, the UK, or the US, highlighting the possibility for both living and investing. However, foreigners are restricted from buying land in Thailand. Instead, a foreigner can own part of a Thai company. 51% of the company must be Thai-owned and lease land for 30 years to build a home. Quality healthcare. The quality and affordability of healthcare in Thailand might surprise newcomers, with services on par or sometimes exceeding those available back home. The affordability of medical care, combined with the availability of international standard facilities, makes many international Thai hospitals stand out. While in Bangkok, I had the chance to speak with a fellow expat who shared his perspective on living in the country. He mentioned that leading a fulfilling life here is definitely possible, especially with a stable financial income beyond just a pension. He mentioned that while imported food can be pricey, almost on par with prices back home, the costs for labor, building materials, utilities, and similar necessities are still significantly lower. It really comes down to what you are looking for in life, he explained. Dental work is even more affordable. If you need any dental work, crowns, veneers, cleaning, or even implants, and want to save some money, remember that not all dental clinics are the same. Make sure you find one with a good reputation. Alternatively, you can download one of my ebooks for recommendations on the dental clinics and hospitals I use. Ideal lifestyle and climate. Thailand's climate and lifestyle are perhaps some of the most appealing reasons to retire here. The warm weather and beautiful islands and beaches promote an outdoor lifestyle. An expat who said he retired in Thailand for 3 years now, he said his Thai marriage is much better than the one he had back in America, saying there are many good-hearted women here, and for the money, his life is better here than what he would have back home. So if he ignores the politics and focuses on a relaxed lifestyle, then Thailand is a good place to be. He said he really enjoys the warm weather too, appreciating the change from the colder, busier life of the Western world. Infrastructure development. Over the years, Thailand has seen noticeable improvements in its infrastructure. Reliable internet, improved road networks, and stable electricity are just the beginning. These enhancements make living in Thailand more convenient and safer, boosting its appeal as a retirement destination. Seeing the country's progress in infrastructure has been deeply satisfying, a long-term expat said. As for me, I noticed Thailand's internet speeds was poor around 2010 and earlier, but in the past decade, it has become very good to world class. I once went to a remote village in northern Chiang Rai and still had high-speed internet access. So if the internet speed is good in a remote village, it's exceptional in the cities. Overall, the infrastructure in Thailand in small parts of the country can be world class. In others, it's acceptable, and the rest needs a lot of improvement. This is the second part of our video that talks about the downfalls and negative aspects of retiring in Thailand. Thailand is renowned for its stunning beaches, friendly locals, amazing Thai food, affordable living, high-speed internet, good infrastructure, and warm climate. It even offers excellent health care and, for the singles among us, a chance to find true love. But does this image tell the whole story? In this section, we'll get into the current aspects of retiring in Thailand, giving you a fuller understanding of the realities and how some retirees manage to overcome these challenges. Give this video a thumbs up if you are looking forward to moving or retiring in Southeast Asia. The dark side of retirement in Thailand. Reason number 1, visa and immigration challenges. Imagine moving to a paradise only to find yourself in a maze of bureaucratic red tape. Thailand's visa policies are infamous for being both complex and frequent changes, making long-term planning a bit of a gamble. Many retirees find themselves facing doubts about their visa status, with the constant need to understand a web of paperwork, legal, and financial requirements. This can be a major source of stress and anxiety, overriding the dream of a carefree retirement for many, especially those who've been here for a long time and are used to the old policies. One retiree told me about 2 years ago when we met at a cafe doing his visa extension. He told me that the only problems he saw that really affect him and his expat friends are the corruption and the racist policies for non-Thais that make it hard to get visa extensions, etc. He really thinks they need to get rid of the 90-day reporting as well as all the paperwork for visa extensions and making them for longer than just 12 months. The dark side of retirement in Thailand. Reason number 2, the rising costs. Yes, Thailand can be affordable, but this isn't the same everywhere in the country and the lifestyle you want to live. In popular expat and tourist hotspots like Phuket, Pattaya, and central Bangkok, prices have been creeping up. Some may argue that prices in these areas are approaching those you expect in Western countries, especially for imported goods and high-end services. I'll share some stories from expats who were surprised to find their expenses far higher than expected, challenging the idea that all of Thailand is a cheap haven.
Also, it isn't a particularly cheap place if you are living in places like Bangkok unless you are living as locals do. I spend more in supermarkets, for example, than I do in the UK, and my UK wages are a lot higher, obviously. Life away from the capital and tourist areas looks more attractive. I wouldn't buy property there either due to the legal Wild West, though that's always been the case.
This quote is from an expat living in tourist-heavy areas like Bangkok, where the cost of living can beat that of the UK, which shows you that not all things are cheaper in Thailand. If you want to maintain your Western lifestyle and diet from back home. The dark side of retirement in Thailand. Reason number 3, the cultural and social barriers. Although Thailand is often called the land of smiles, however, there remains a big cultural gap that can lead to feelings of isolation and alienation among expats. Issues like subtle racism and problems fully fitting into Thai society are real and can be hard for expats living here long term. Some retirees who've struggled with these challenges feel like outsiders even though they spent many years here. They believe the changes in the treatment of expats and retirees over the years are shifting towards more unfair policies that make it hard on the lives of foreigners, causing cultural alienation and social barriers. A long-term expat who I met in Pattaya said he lived here full-time for 10 years and about 5 or 6 years before that, visiting for months at a time. He said it was hard for him to imagine back then he would be saying this. The current government wants the money that comes with the tourism of old, but wants to make it miserable for people that come here. The dark side of retirement in Thailand. Reason number 4, Thailand's political and economic situation could be another area of concern. It is unpredictable with frequent coups and changes in government, often leading to sudden changes in laws affecting everything from visa policies to property rights. This unpredictability can be a deal breaker for those expats seeking a stable and predictable retirement setting. There seems to be some missing information with what is being advertised and what some expats who live here for a long time are experiencing, especially retirees. The dark side of retirement in Thailand. Reason number 5, Let's talk about healthcare. Thailand is known for its top-notch medical facilities, particularly in big cities like Bangkok, Phuket, and Chiang Mai. However, it's a different story once you step out of these cities. In rural areas, the healthcare quality tends to drop, and even in the cities, medical costs can hit you hard if you're used to the universal or state-funded healthcare system from your home country. Let's hear what one retiree said about his experience here.
Since all the so-called crackdowns about 5 or so more years ago, it has constantly become harder to retire in Thailand. First, there was the saga about income requirements changing, then mandatory insurance. This makes things very hard when you are old and insurance companies dump you or decide they want 100,000 baht per year.
His comment talks about the healthcare hurdles, the new policy focusing on the mandatory insurance that's been tough on retirees. For the older folks, managing these health insurance costs has become trickier, complicating their stay in Thailand. And if you are over 80 years old with pre-existing health issues, what health insurance provider would want to take you on? Even if you can find a health insurance provider, can you even afford it in a foreign country? But here's the good news. I just checked the Royal Thai Embassy website in Canada regarding health insurance requirements for the non-immigrant O visa, which retirees living in Thailand use as a retirement visa. This visa doesn't appear to have a health insurance requirement by the Immigration Bureau. However, the non-immigrant visa OA requires a health insurance policy for the duration of your stay. This is the retirement visa that you apply outside of Thailand in your home country. So check your Thai consulate or Thai embassy for the most updated info. The dark side of retirement in Thailand, reason number 6, environmental and pollution. Let's face it, environmental issues and pollution in Thailand are serious issues that are getting harder to ignore. As the country races towards rapid development, the cost to the environment has been steep. Cities choked with smog and once pristine beaches now filled with litter are common sights, deteriorating the natural charm. This isn't just a visual issue, it's a health hazard too, especially for anyone suffering from respiratory problems. When I was living in Chiang Mai, one digital nomad said to me that the air quality in the rest of the Chiang Rai province is unhealthy for 3 to 4 months a year. He said it is so beautiful in this area. He left Chiang Rai because of the air pollution. This shows the personal impact of air pollution in the northern part of Thailand, where an expat feels strongly enough to move away due to the bad quality of air. The dark side of retirement in Thailand. Reason number 7. Finally, we need to talk about this major issue, corruption. Unfortunately, this problem is all too common in Thailand, affecting everything from buying or selling property and owning a business to dealing with some local officials. A lot of expats find themselves feeling ripped off because it's about money or something else. This can really sour the whole experience of living in Thailand. One longtime retiree shared that living here is quite affordable for him, especially when it comes to dining out and other daily expenses. However, he pointed out his biggest challenges are the corruption and policies biased against non-Thais, which complicate the visa extension process. He suggested eliminating the 90-day reporting requirement and simplifying the extensive paperwork for visa renewals. Perhaps even extending their validity beyond just 1 year would make a big difference. According to him, the current regulations seem primarily designed to generate revenue. Here is a different view from another retiree.
Corruption is definitely something a lot of people are concerned about, and I did too before. But it's not something that most expats or retirees run into every day. It's more high-level stuff, not the everyday life for most of us.
From my own experience, I rarely deal with Thai immigration unless I'm crossing the border, so I haven't faced any issues there. However, owning a condo in Thailand can introduce some of that, such as potential conflicts of interest or corruption if the management is unchecked due to a lack of active and informed co-owners. Also, I've noticed that being a Thai national but look Chinese, and for some Thais I look Japanese, I sometimes face subtle discrimination, but it doesn't bother me since I can speak Thai and make fun of them in Thai. For example, last night during a scooter ride, I was stopped at a police checkpoint targeting drunk drivers. There were several other Thais in front of me who did not get pulled over, but I was singled out for inspection. Besides these situations where I get pulled over or issues with my condo, my experience in Thailand has been mainly positive. Living long-term or retiring in Thailand is not without problems or inconveniences. While the country offers a beautiful location and a lower cost of living if you avoid imported items, the realities of bureaucracy, cultural differences, and other downfalls can make life hard for the dream of a peaceful retirement. If you're considering making the move, it's best to go live there for a few months to experience it for yourself. So, are there any major changes or restrictions coming up for retirement visas in Thailand? With rules and the economy always changing, it's crucial to know what might happen next if you're considering retiring here. Will staying in Thailand become more challenging? Here's my analysis of potential future changes to retirement visa policies in Thailand. The number of international visitors has a big effect on the country's infrastructure and immigration policies. More visitors mean stricter controls to manage resources, jobs, and national security. The country's GDP, or the total value of all goods and services produced, shows how healthy the economy is. A rising GDP, often increased by tourism, suggests more activity but also brings changes in managing the flood of new residents and tourists. This sometimes results in tougher rules for entering and staying in the country. Let's look at some recent changes in immigration policies. The crackdown on visa runs in March 2016, Good Guys In, Bad Guys Out campaign aimed to filter out unwanted visitors. The rules have tightened now, and the number of visa runs allowed depends on the discretion of immigration officers. Staying longer in a neighboring country between each visa run might improve your chances, but the days of unlimited visa runs are gone. October 2018, Thai embassies ceased issuing income affidavits used by some foreigners to qualify for a retirement visa. Now, retirees and expats must provide concrete proof of their income in a Thai bank or in their home country. May 2019, many long-stay visas now require mandatory health insurance. As of now, if you can't afford the long-term visa or can't qualify for their financial requirements, you're probably the low-income foreigners Thailand don't want. So what does this graph mean? If GDP continues to rise to $600 billion and reaches around $650 billion, I expect stricter visa policies. If the GDP stabilizes at around 500 to 550 billion, I think it is likely to mean no further tightening of visa rules. A decrease in GDP might lead the government to relax visa policies to attract more visitors. In an extreme scenario where the GDP per capita is like taking a country's total yearly earnings and dividing it by the number of people, giving a rough idea of what each person would make if the wealth were split evenly. If this line matches or nearing countries like Japan or South Korea, Thailand might phase out retirement visas and push everyone to the more expensive elite visa, which costs about 1 million baht. However, I don't see this happening in my lifetime, but I think one day this will happen, so enjoy what you have for now. If you found this video informative and watched it all the way here, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. To watch another video about retirement in Thailand, click on the video on the top right. For a comparison of retirement options across Southeast Asian countries, click on the video at the lower right. Have any experiences or additional insights about retiring in Thailand? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your stories. And remember, every place has its shadows or dark sides, even in paradise. Stay informed and happy travels.